Welcome back to JZZ, your one-stop shop for all things jazz. I'm Dominique Pastrami.
And I'm Shelby Salami. The world is still mourning the death of legend Mary Lou Williams, who passed away today at the age of 71 due to bladder cancer.
Here at JZZ, we put together a segment celebrating her life and all of her accomplishments.
Mary Lou Williams was born as Mary Elfrida Scruggs on May 10, 1910 in Atlanta, Georgia.
She learned to play piano by listening to Jelly Roll Morton and James P. Johnson. By 7 years old, she was playing professionally.
At age 14, she left home under the stage name of Mary Lou Burley to play for a vaudeville show.
In 1927, she married the saxophone player John Williams, and by 1929, they were both playing in the Andy Kirk band Clouds of Joy in Kansas City.
She composed songs like Nightlife, Drag 'Em, Twinklin', and Clouds during her time with the band.
In 1936, she wrote her well-known hit, Walkin' and Swingin', which established her as a prominent female composer and instrumentalist in jazz.
In 1942, she moved to Harlem in New York City, where she mentored aspiring musicians like Thelonious Monk, Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, and Bud Powell.
Her interest in complex chromatic harmonies pulled her into the bebop revolution of the 1940s.
One of her protégés, Dizzy Gillespie, credited her with helping him rethink the formation of chords. In 1945, she released her 12-part composition, Zodiac Suite, which was performed in Carnegie Hall in 1946.
From 1952 through 1954, she lived in Europe, where she converted to Catholicism. She stopped performing regularly to write sacred works, including 3 masses, a 6.5-minute choral work called Black Christ of the Andes. She was the first jazz composer to write for sacred music.
After she left Paris in 1954, she retired from performing and composing for a few years before appearing as a guest in Dizzy Gillespie's orchestra in the 1957 Newport Jazz Festival.
In the early 1960s, Mary Lou Williams founded her own record label so she could record her own music and music of other artists, called Mary Records, which was the first to be founded by a woman, and she started the Cecilia Music Publishing Company.
In 1971, her piece Mary Lou's Mass, which was jazz mixed with rhythm and blues and spiritual and gospel, was interpreted into a dance by choreographer Alvin Ailey, which became the first jazz piece to be performed at New York's St. Patrick's Cathedral.
In the 1960s and 70s, she became a devoted teacher of jazz history and even taught at Duke University, where she was appointed artist in residence, and she also organized bands, wrote religious music, recorded, and played concerts.
Mary Lou Williams' career spanned over half a century, where she constantly changed her style to fit in with the modern times, something other jazz artists failed to do.
Duke Ellington said it best in his autobiography, Mary Lou Williams is perpetually contemporary. Her writing and performing has always been a little ahead throughout her career. Her music retains and maintains a standard of quality that is timeless. She is like soul on soul.
And now out to our correspondent in the field, Brian B. Jerky.
Did you hear the breaking news that Mary Lou Williams has passed away?
You're kidding! I love her!
I know, it's very sad. Did you know any of her songs?
It Ain't Necessarily So was one of my favorite songs.
Why is that?
It just helped me through a really tough time, and its smooth timbre just really gets me feeling things.
I'm here with local pet shop owner Jocelyn Ains. Jocelyn, did you hear the news that Mary Lou Williams passed away?
I did not. That's so sad.
I know, very, very sad. Did you know any of her work?
Yeah, my favorite song by her was Walkin' and Swingin'. I loved its upbeat tempo.
Did you ever see her perform?
I did. I was there when she performed for President Carter.
That must have been quite the experience.
Really
Back to you in the studio, Dominique.
Thank you for that, Brian.
And now we have a video from one of Mary Lou Williams' last performances. such a good video. It really warms the heart.
This just in, our correspondent Brian B. Jerky on the scene live, where fans are swarming the hospital where Mary Lou Williams passed away. Out to you, Brian.
We're at the hospital where Mary Lou Williams passed away earlier today with diehard fan and aspiring jazz musician Mark Ribeye. Mark, how are you coping with the death of Mary Lou Williams?
It's been a pretty tough day for me. Mary Lou Williams has been one to really inspire me to take up jazz. As an aspiring musician, Mary Lou Williams Foundation has really helped me grow as a saxophonist, and her foundation really helps the less fortunate youth take up jazz music as well.
Thanks, Brian.
And now for the moment you've all been waiting for, Brian B. Jerky with the jokes of the
I
day.
got 2 jokes for you guys today. The first joke, what's the difference between a banjo and an onion? Nobody cries when you chop up a banjo. And the second joke, what do you call Mary Lou Williams? Dead.
This just in. Brian B. Jerky has decided to continue on to a new career path.
Anyway, thank you for joining us here today on JAZZ. See you next time.